I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you and your
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
It's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord of Lords.
Conscious all your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
Kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here right here is about to be holy ground. This will be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.
That's why I don't know you. I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yahanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
We don't need a black man in the White House. We need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
What's going on, Israel? I.S.U.P.K.com is the website.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm in a strange place up here. Back in the studio live with you. I'm Commander General GEN.YAHANNA, man, holding it down. With me is the great and mighty General Micah Allah, holding it down.
Most High in Christ.
You know what I'm saying? Famous for making the Jewish boys cry.
Boo-hoo-hoo.
God. Also in studio with me, holding us down during all the madness, Officer Yadiah in the building with us, holding it down with Ibad Hayah in the building. And one more warrior in the building with a trooper, Yanaha, holding it down with us in here, man. We making it happen. We live doing it up. Hey, it's a lot going on coming into 2022, so-called 2022, because it ain't the new year as you know, or should know by now. You know what I mean? That the Lord hit them with a horrible, horrible New Year's, and a lot went down. That story in Colorado. I hope we have that story on the list. We coming out first with that. What you got first? You got something before that? Okay, we'll come back with it. But that story in Colorado, if you did not believe in the Most High in Christ, then boy, oh boy, oh boy, you need to hear this story. I think the brothers might even brought some of it out already. It's heavy going down, all over this empire, man. And a lot is happening with black people and Latino people. They are so frustrated. People are calling it COVID madness. It's not COVID madness. Ain't no such thing as COVID madness. It ain't no madness going on. The madness that's happening is black people and Latino people are waking up.
Right.
Like what's happening is the nightmare and the lie that you've been living, you finally finding out that it was a lie. Right or wrong, General?
Cut it one cut.
Like you the whole time you've been lying to yourself. Man, when I listen to some older tapes of different black leaders and different black people and even entertainers, I hear them talk and say stuff like, well, I'm not about color. I'm about this and that and that and that. And I remember we used to laugh back in the day at that, like they don't even understand. Now, hearing them now, after everything that happened with COVID and the way this man had treated us in the last several years, I mean, it's been going on, but more in the forefront now.
They came out the closet.
They came out the closet and really showed their hand and showed their colors. And as a result, black people feel so hurt. You are hurt that your slave master didn't love you, man. You are hurt. Go ahead, General. You was gonna jump in, please.
Just saying what you're saying is right. Like we've been that Christian church that made us think, that our oppressor loved us, that there's a chance we could still, if we keep begging and showing them that we kind and nice and docile, that they'll change their heart and love us. And then Donald Trump became president, you understand? And he opened that closet and all them racists said, we free now. We can really be Americans now. And then you realize that Christian church been lying to you, that these people don't love you and they are not Jesus and they don't have the love and the mercy that you have. And you finally see, like the scriptures say, that what it say? I'm paraphrasing that the devil is an angel. Oh man, I can't remember.
The devil appears as an angel of light.
That is another one too, where he said,
that man be revealed.
That man be revealed. That's the one. Right.
In 2 Thessalonians, that man be revealed.
Right. The man of sin, Salakia. I had a brain freeze. It said that man of sin be revealed. And COVID, which is the Most High, shutting down, and it is the Most High that allowed Donald Trump to run this earth, so we can really see how Americans are. You understand? And that man of sin has been revealed even to the common man. Even Christians now feeling slighted by their white Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, sir, I think they're waking up to the fact that, these people would never love us.
That's right.
And we just adapting to that fact in the last days. So,
and it's like a rude awakening. And at the same time, he's stealing all of your drug markets. He's stealing all of your so-called off-grid economies. He's taking everything he can get. And at the same time, now he's showing that, he was never a man for you to love. And look at the mess this place has caused. And once again, why you can say whatever you want to say. You can believe whatever religion you want to believe. You ain't going to tell me nothing, because the Bible has always proven itself outright. The problem is you've been told so many things about the Bible that are contrary to what's really in the Bible. So of course, in your mind, you think you know what you're talking about. And in 9 out of 10, you don't know what you're talking about. You got an idea of the Bible. It's the white man's book. All the different stereotypes that they come out with. You know what I mean? That really other religions are the real religion. Man, that Bible, this book called the Bible is the black man, Latino man, and Native Indian man's book. And it has proven itself out right time and time again. And will continue to prove it out. Like you can bang your head up against a wall all you want. These biblical prophecies going to keep coming out. Everything going on in their lives, General, right or wrong, is going to continue happening just like the Bible said it was.
Good.
And I love it. I love it. Because it just shows that there's a higher power above that clown you got sitting in that church, singing and dancing. That's not the height of God. Like the height of God isn't this guy sitting in this church singing and dancing and
supposedly praising the Lord. Get General Mayat scripture if you don't mind.
Okay.
This hits that joint right on the head.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Don't be fooled, man. Go ahead, General. You got it.
No, oh no, you
go ahead. General.
Okay, go ahead.
Khan. Let no man deceive you by any means.
And the problem is the church been deceiving us. The church been deceiving us by making us think, our oppressor is good people. We all bleed red. We all the same. We all should love each other the same. And one day that white man gonna come back and all the races and all the people gonna hold hands, kumbaya, kissing and hugging. Read.
For that day shall not come.
And when you read this Bible, you're gonna realize that the day he talking about, that day is that day the Lord say is darkness, not light. Mm-hmm. Not no happy. It ain't gonna be no party that day. That day is not a party. That day is not a wonderful thing where some white man float out the cloud and we all get our wings and we all living beautiful and sweet and peaceful with all the races of the earth. That's not the day that the Bible is talking about. The Lord said, woe to them that desire the day of the Lord, for it is darkness and not light. Dang. It's not going to be nothing beautiful. Read on. And now that day, but listen, that dark day got to come for the freedom of black and brown people.
Right.
The freedom of black and brown people depends on that dark day coming. Right. It's going to be dark for our oppressors. It's going to be dark for the earth. But when the smoke clear, Israel going to be risen, man, and our king going to rule this earth. Read about it.
Except there come a falling away first.
But that day of our freedom, this darkness, this coming, it's going to be a rough, bloody time. That day, it said it's not going to come unless what?
Except there come a falling away first.
A falling away has to happen. Something have to fall away that's blocking your vision. Something blocking your sight or how life it really is. That got to go away first. Read.
And that man of sin be revealed.
That's what got to happen. The man of sin has to be revealed. Has to be revealed. And the Most High, he been revealing this man of sin through Donald Trump, through COVID, through all these, raising up these racists. They coming out. They want to bring the South back. They want to bring America back. Make America great again was a spit in your face, black and brown people. Right. It was a spit in our face and made white people raise up real Americans now. Those were Americans that raided the Capitol. We coming up on the anniversary. Those were Americans, man. They raided this Capitol. They had flags and red, white, and blue, Star-Spangled Banner. They are patriots that raided that Capitol. You understand? The Lord is pitting them against each other, and in their fight with each other, we seeing how much none of them like us. You understand? Yeah. The man of sin is being revealed. You got people putting up, standing, taking pictures with white supremacist groups, putting up the white supremacist signs and all that, their little sign, and then running for office and winning. And winning. They riot the Capitol, you die of treason. Right. That's going, you attack the government, and then you run for office and win. Come on, America falling apart, man, and the man of sin is being revealed. So that's I think, black and brown people, they're really waking up to that, really waking up to the fact that this man is not our friend. And with the Lord's mercy, they'll hear one of your teachings or one of your classes, sir, and come on in this truth, man, and really understand who this man of sin is.
Come on, and I think blacks and Latinos know it in their soul, but still caught up under that church.
God.
A lot of you know it in your soul. You already know in your soul that it's all been a lie. God. The whole life you've lived in this empire has been a lie, and you know it. But the thing is, it's hard for you to break from that church. It's hard for you to break from that place. But you better break from it, because now's the time for you to come back and join your nation and join your people and join your identity and become a part of the work of the Most High and get ready for this kingdom, because it's get ready to bust out all over around us, man. Like, this is one of them times, and them pains of these pandemics definitely bring it home. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. Was that it on that script? All right. Where we going, you die?
Try Jesus.
Oh, wait, what scripture was that? Somebody asked what scripture was that in the chat room.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3.
The water. Let's go.
Karawakan. Try Jesus, not me. Fight.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Fight breaks out during the middle of pastor's sermon at Tennessee church.
At a Tennessee church, the pastor is preaching. I think we got video, right? The pastor, once again, y'all got to open your eyes. This is something that never took place in church.
Right.
Nobody didn't break out in the fights in the church years ago. Now it's becoming highly commonplace in the church. I think last week or the week before, y'all did a story on some pastor who they had to arrest because he pulled a gun on somebody in the congregation. Like the pastors is getting strapped now.
Good.
They on the podium, Jesus, 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 but they strapped because they worried about the very congregation. And the tensions is high because they losing so much money.
Right.
The church is losing money out. Like, I can't even explain. Like, they get ready, like they need a bailout. They need a bailout down there to get them out of this mess they in. Go ahead, please. Please,
Karawakan. Sunday service came one day after Christmas this year, with it landing on the last Sunday of the year. 2 churchgoers made sure to handle their unfinished business before the new year hits.
Right, which once again, worship of the new year, worship of the gods of the Greeks. How you gonna be so-called in the church, supposed to be understanding and knowing the Bible, and you celebrate New Year's and thinking that you got to finish your business before the New Year's comes in? We've been teaching for years about how New Year's is a damn lie, how it is the worship of those Greek gods. You understand? Anybody that ever studied anything about Greek mythology and the Greek gods, all of those gods are who we worship today. Every last one of them we worship today. And here's the worst part that's so evil about it. Those Greek gods are the same gods that we worshiped in Egypt. And those gods we worship in Egypt are the same gods that were worshipped in ancient Babylon back during the time of Abraham. Okay? Back during the time of Abraham and all those empires were ruling back then, they were worshiping these same gods. And these gods have transferred themselves all the way to America, man. Thousands and thousands of years later, they keep bringing them gods back. And you sitting in church celebrating New Year's, which is the worship of the sun god and so many other different gods mixed up in that whole entire ceremony. And because of that, because you worship that, the world continues to stay dark when it comes to blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. Because how you going to be trying to bring people to the Lord, and you bringing them to the Lord, but you really bringing them to the Greek gods? Does that make any damn sense?
Right.
Makes no sense, man. Go ahead, Doc.
Okay. A shocking video from Olivet Baptist Church in Chattanooga, Tennessee, shows 2 men throwing hands in the front row.
Chattanooga.
Oh.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. They threw hands in the front. Play the tape if you could, you Dad. Let's check this out, yo.
Star in the east.
Hey, bitch, you better praise God.
We saw his star in the east.
Hey, bitch, you better praise God, or I'm a shooting. That's on God. I ain't playing by my Lord and Savior.
Hey, the pastor wasn't no chump, though. He took that one in the jaw and got up and still tried to throw back.
Yeah.
Run it one more time.
And they so Christian, General. They try to explain that that's just like they looked at like it was a bad thing that he hit him back. You know,
damn.
So somebody they must have heard like, well, he a pastor, why he hit him back?
Damn.
So, well, that's the natural reaction.
So they try to explain it, right?
He was reading scripture while I was teaching, and then somebody attacks you. That's just a natural reaction,
right? You know? Right. In other words, they weren't able to keep up the lie that they turned the other cheek.
Exactly.
So the natural reaction got to be the excuse.
Good.
The fact that he jumped out that chair. He jumped out there, and the cat that slugged him Back the hell up.
Good.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, one more play one more time for us.
Hold on. Q said it didn't play. Oh.
He saw his star in the east.
Hey, bitch, you better praise God, or I'm a shooting. That's on God. I ain't playing by my Lord and Savior. I'm on my job.
He saw his star in the east.
He walked back. Ooh. Damn. And snuck him too. That was the sad part. He snuck him. Creeped up on him and snuck him. You know what I mean? Good. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. That's church today.
There you go. Good.
That's church today. Now, their excuse for this was the fact that they claimed the brother in the white t-shirt had some type of mental illness and all that. But brother, listen, what that is proof positive that they do not know how to lead the Lord's chosen. They do not know what to do with the Lord's chosen. The man came into their house and they don't even know what to do with him. And that's why he got snuck in the face like that. And this is a shame. I'm going to tell you why this is a shame. After Dylan Ruth, every church is supposed to be on high alert. He went in there and killed 9 people in front of with one gun.
God.
9 people dead. And again, they still haven't brought out all the things that he did to them people in there, to them women and all that. And guess what? They said Dylan Ruth is running a full-out prison right now. God. He's like a major player in the white supremacist gangs in prison right now. That same Dylan Ruth. So much so that they said it was extorting some of the white supremacists that got locked up during the Capitol riots. They go into jail, not the Capitol riots, not them, the crew that was in that other killing, the one where the guy ran over the white girl.
Oh, God. Charlotte.
With Charlotte, right?
God.
They said that those cats got locked up, and Dylan Ruth and his crew is in there and shaking them down and extorting them in the jail. It's a damn mess, man.
God.
And meanwhile, they sitting up there, don't even know what to do. This is what happens, man, when you take on this cauliflower spirit of Christianity in this empire. Go ahead, General, please. Charlottesville, that's right. Big shout out to General Kubala Ma. Like that's ridiculous, man. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that we still go to church. It's a shame that we still go to church and still believe that in church is where we're going to get God. It's time to escape that place.
God.
It's definitely time to escape. That hustle and that lie went on long enough. And thank the Lord that he stopped it during this pandemic. He stopped it during this pandemic. I mean, he shook these churches to the ground. And just when they started to try to get back up on their feet, here comes another pandemic. Lord done brought back some more for you because it's an extremely evil institution. You think you serving God when you go to church. When you are serving the ancient Babylonian gods, man. Okay. You serving Nimrod, man. You serving Baal. You serving those weather gods that the Babylonians worship, that the so-called Chaldeans, the same gods that the Lord told Abraham to get away from his family from. He said, get away from them, man. He took them out of there. He took Abraham out of there because they were worshiping all them gods. And he told Abraham, come up out of there. Get it for me, y'all. 17th, 18th chapter, Genesis. He told Abraham, man, come on, get away from them people. Because them people, they're going off. So you come and get away from them. Come on this side, and I'm going to show you how to serve me. And brother, that's how the nation of Israel was born. We was born from escaping the other gods. So how you gonna say you're gonna come to serve the Most High and not be seeking God against the gods that's in the commonplace? The gods of Islam, the gods of Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, all the gods of these nations that have prospered and come over the top of us. We seeking their gods instead of seeking the God that's against all them gods. Tell me when you got it. You gonna say something?
Because I know somebody in the chat said their sister lives behind the church that she goes to,
right?
And the pastor is her landlord and just gave her a New Year's present of eviction.
Damn.
Get the hell out of here.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Which is insane.
And that's the problem with the church. Like people like to say, well, I don't go to church because I ain't giving them no money or this and that and this and that. Listen, if they men of God, they deserve all the money you got. You understand? The problem is the church is not doing the job of the priests of God. They're not doing the job of servants of God. You understand? So they don't deserve the money. You know what I'm saying? They don't deserve your loyalty. There's only one place doing the actual job that God sent his prophets to do, or his pastors to do, his priests to do. That's the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Don't make no excuse because they ask for tithes. Tithes is in the laws of God. You understand? Your donations and your money is in the laws of God. Give it to the men of God. The problem is the church is getting all the money and not doing any of the business of the Lord. So
listen, ain't even, and not even worshiping God.
God.
Like the Bible ain't in there for, you know, for nobody to learn the Bible. The Bible is sitting in there for you to lie to you. Like
God.
the Bible is like a prop. The
God.
Bible is in there to brainwash you. You know what it's like? It's like Michael Jordan with Nike sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
He endorses Nike sneakers, so black people go and buy Nike sneakers. They say they all over the internet buying Nike sneakers because they can't get them with the whole pandemic.
God.
So they over there selling. They got so many fake Nike sneakers all over the internet because they can't get them. And they buying those Nike sneakers because of Michael Jordan's reputation and others who they endorsed. Well, guess what? You in the church worshiping Baal because they use the Bible to endorse. They made the Bible. The Bible is the sponsor. That's why it's so much Jesus talk.
God.
Because it's like that's their sponsor. They're gonna steal Christ's glory and make him the sponsor for a Babylonian religion.
God.
Even the whole Pope. Go back to that fight. Are you able to slide back to it quickly? Freeze it once you pull up the full screen, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because go ahead.
Can I give another example too? Just not to cut you off.
No, do it.
I like the. It's like Frosted Flake, the Frosted Flake cereal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The selling point is the tiger.
Yeah,
that tiger on there, they're great, and he jumping around. He sells the cereal.
Yeah,
but the tiger got nothing to do with the damn cereal.
No,
right? So you buying all that good cereal because of that tiger, and they're great and all that. That, like you said, the Bible is that type of prop in the Christian church.
Or if I could add to what you said, or Shaq. Shaq is in the commercial with the tiger. Both of them compete on who could roar the best. When both of them got nothing to do with the cereal.
Right.
They both in there to get you to buy the cereal. And that's what black people got to wake up to. They got the Bible is sitting in there for you to go and buy into the lie of worshiping the Babylonian Empire. Tell me when you got it. I'm going to just point out something real quick. If you can, give me a free shot of the whole. You see that podium? You see that design and that whole podium? You see them steps behind him, them levels behind him with the chairs and them double steps on the bottom and all that. That is a Babylonian temple setup. When you go back, when you really go and study the history of the religions and the gods of the ancient world, which I don't suggest you do, but the point is this: that back then, these cats, we studied them so we can teach you the truth. I don't suggest you getting caught up into them unless you are taught and trained like a priest. That is a Babylonian setup that they carried over many, many years. The entire church setup is a Babylonian setup. It's designed the same way a Babylonian temple is. And guess what? Got the same spirit in there. The Babylonian temples had what they call temple virgins, which were really whores. They called them temple virgins, but they were actually whores. And what the whores did was men would come to the church and they would have sex with these women and pay these women and believe that they was blessed by having sex with these so-called temple virgins and lied to these men to make them think that these women had never had sex. That's exactly what's going on in church. Men are going to the only reason the men going to the church is because so many whores go to church. The church is I'm sorry to say, but the church is filled with so many whores that men go there to get the whores and believe that them whores are righteous. Like they go to them churches and see them women in them suits and them big hats and the perfume and the jewelry, and you think this is a righteous woman. When in many cases, I'm not saying every last one of them is a whore, just 99.9999999.
Cut it to one cut.
All right, but I ain't saying all of them are, just the majority of them are. And so now you go there getting them whores thinking you getting something special when you being drawn into the worship of the Babylonian Empire, which is exactly what the temple whores did in the ancient times. That's what they did. It was a hustle. It was a hustle to worship another god, and we doing it to this day. And it's shameful before the Most High, and shameful that they use the Bible to do it. Let's give me some more. The water. Go ahead, huh?
Yeah, what you're bringing out is so heavy, General, is that, you're absolutely correct, sir. Nowadays, the same dress that the sisters be wearing going to the club on Saturday night, they show up to church the next day in that same dress, sir. It's a lot.
And if I could, now since you threw that on there, you died, can I add something to you? The same pimps that's pimping whores become preachers. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they become a preacher after they done been a pimp. And, got big congregations in the churches of black women who have destroyed their lives and then go join the church and try to fix it when they 50 years old. You know what I mean? When you 50 years old, now you're going to go join the church after you done been a dragon through this earth. Now you're going to try to go join the church and bring that same monster, demonic spirit in there. Once again, we should escape it now. Now's the time to wake up and see that the Lord has really shown us that he exists. These pandemics is the calling card of the Most High. And they're supposed to let us know he exists. I don't want to stay on that because I know I'm running long. But let's get into it. Come on. Did you finish that script on it? With Abraham real quick? Where he said to get away from those people? Go ahead.
Oh, I have walked before me, sir. I don't have get away from those people. So
say that one.
I have Genesis 17:1 where he says, "Walk before me and be thou perfect." I don't have.
Okay, pull up that one I'm looking for. All right, we'll come back to you on it.
What did you say, sir?
The one. Yeah, he got it.
Okay, no, sir.
Let's go. Where we going, you done?
Illegal and relatorial. Louisiana man who has already spent 47 years in Angola is rearrested at prison gate on day of his parole.
We'll show you, and this is what the so-called Vice President Kamala Harris was doing. She had brothers in prison in California that were supposed to be released and held them in the prison past their dates. And this is the tactic they use down there. That Angola prison, brother, they say that is absolute hell. That Angola prison down there in where is it, Louisiana or somewhere? One of them southern states where, I mean, they still they throwing brothers away and they ain't never coming out. And they damn near like, and the ones that's running it down there, they damn near looking at it just like slavery. Like in their mind, this is just part of our economics. Okay. So letting you out is not really even an option in many cases, because the whole point is to make sure that you stay in here so that their slave economy can keep going. As far as they're concerned, you still a slave. You're going to always be a slave, and you ain't never going to come out of slavery. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. The horrible things that go on against blacks and Latinos in these prisons in the first place, it should be enough for us to circle the wagons about ourselves, man, and for ourselves. But let him read the story. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. You want to pull it out right quick?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12 and verse 1. Now the Lord has said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country.
You hear what he said? The Most High said, get you out of your country. This is his country. This is where his people were dwelling at. He said, man, get out of there. I want you to get out this country. And this scripture goes along with the scripture in Revelation where the Lord said, come out of her, my people. You got to come out of the spirit of this place. You got to come out of the spirit of this place, man, and get into the spirit of the Most High. This is a new world being born right in front of your eyes. This pandemic and these things that's happening, this is a new world being born in front of you. And you need to see it and enter into the new world and get out of the old world. This is exactly what the Lord told Abraham to do, and he's going to explain why. Go ahead.
and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee.
Onto a whole nother land that I'm going to show you. Is there more? Go ahead.
And I will make of thee a great nation.
And there the Lord went and built us and made us who we are. We were born from escaping these other gods, man. That's how we were born as a people. God. Our whole identity is based on escaping other gods. And one of the great things that all these empires have done, since Babylon to Egypt to Greece to Rome to America, what all these nations have done, which helped make them great and powerful, was to accept all the gods together. You go back and study ancient Egypt, brother. They had so many gods. They had so many gods. When you went to court in ancient Egypt, right? Just like swearing on the Bible today. When you went to court in ancient Egypt, you were allowed, like as part of your defense strategy, you were allowed to bring a statue of your god. So you come in there with your god Bath or whatever the hell they named. They had crocodile god, the monkey god. They had Isis god. They had the jackal, what do they call him? Anubis. They had that god. They had a whole bunch of gods. And you could bring your god and sit your god up on the thing while you testify. Damn near like for comfort. For comfort, you have your god, or like for proof you're going to tell the truth, you got your little alligator god or your chimpanzee god or whatever. Some of them had the scarab, the little the beetle. And so you come with a big ass statue of a beetle, be like, boom. Yeah, I'm going to tell the truth before the beetle god. You know what I'm saying? And that's today, right or wrong. Today they have you swear on the Bible, I tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and everybody lying. And but they have you swearing on this Bible to tell the truth. That's Babylonian custom. The Lord said, get away from it. Every empire did it. And this one is no different, man. And that's why this brother is locked up the way he is. Go ahead. Give me some. Was that in on that scripture? Okay. Let's go back to the story about this brother and this horrible thing, man, so we can get it in. Go ahead.
A Louisiana man who has served 47 years in prison remains incarcerated nearly 9 months after his parole date and following 2 court decisions ordering his release. The Louisiana Board of Pardons and Committee on Parole voted unanimously on March 18th to release Bobby Sneed from Angola prison. Sneed collapsed on March 25th, 4 days before his scheduled release, and tested positive for methamphetamine.
Prison. And who knows if that's even true? You know what I'm saying? They know he's about to be released. Who knows if it's even true? Okay. And I mean, you put a black man, and where is this at? Alabama? You put a black man in a prison in Louisiana, I think it is. Where's this place at? This hellhole at?
If I may, sir, it's in Louisiana.
It is Louisiana.
And if I could, sir, it's something that's heavy that General Kabbalah Moth brought out. That Louisiana State Penitentiary, the Louisiana State Penitentiary known as Angola, and nicknamed the Alcatraz of the South, the Angola Plantation and the Farm. This prison was named after, a famous plantation that we used to be on in Louisiana, sir.
I believe part of the prison grounds comes from the plantation. So damn near at the plantation. And I don't know if they still do it, but there was one time where you had the farm. You was there. With them, there was straight up slavery. It was straight up. You get locked up in Angola, and now you got the chains on, and you in there pulling cabbage, or whatever the hell they growing down there. You know what I mean? Collard greens or whatever. You're right. That's exactly how it used to be. Okay. You know what I mean? And so why would they change now? You put a man down there in that prison for 47 years. What do you think he's gonna be doing? Of course, you know what I mean. You shouldn't be surprised that he's trying to get high in your prison, even if it's even true.
God. And especially if he's innocent. He's supposed to have been innocent, right? For 47 years, right?
Is that
Is
I'm
he
not
supposed to
sure.
be?
No, I
Okay.
think they were just gonna parole him.
Okay.
I don't think he was. Yeah.
Conway, right? Like you saying, in jail 47 years. Hell, in prison, a horrible prison like that. The natural thing is to get high, like you said, even if it's true. You understand? So now, they're gonna put him back in jail for that. Who knows, man? This beast is terrible, man, with his lies and what I'm saying, with his corrupt, like it's big business to keep him in prison, like the general brought out earlier. It's big business.
And you certainly cannot escape him by taking on the very same gods he worshiped. That's why I'll never ever get into worshiping no goddamn Egypt, because I'm in Egypt right now. God. Like I don't need to go to Egypt. I'm in it right now. Same God, same religion, same belief, same socio-economic system, same type of government, exactly the same. Ain't nothing changed. It's exactly the same. General Katham said, pull Joshua what? General? Joshua 24:2. Try that one. Let's keep going. Is that it on the story? So they rearrested him, right?
He was held past his release date for a disciplinary hearing, but the disciplinary committee dropped the drug use allegations because it could not confirm that the urine sample used to accuse the 75-year-old was his.
He's 75 years old. They couldn't even confirm that the drugs was his. Right. The urine sample was his. Come on, man. Like, this is monstrous things happening to the Lord's chosen people in this land. And it's hit up while you celebrating New Year. Happy New Year's. While you celebrating Christmas and New Year's and all the holidays and gods and religions of every heathen around the world. Your brothers and sisters is suffering all over this empire. While you somewhere, worshiping, enjoying yourself as part of this empire, man. There's families and children and people of yours that's suffering day and night and have no relief. They said the man collapsed 4 days before his release. Collapsed at 75 years old. I don't know. He must be a tough brother too. To survive to 75 in Angola prison, that's a tough brother right there. And then the day he gets out, go ahead, tell him the story right quick, because I don't want to steal the whole story.
I got that ball scripted too.
Go ahead.
Good But by November 9th, authorities at the Louisiana State Prison in Angola, Louisiana, had accused Snead of a fresh drug charge.
They found a new. Listen, they couldn't prove from the previous one, so they found a new one to hit him with. Go ahead.
Saying the prisoner had been found unresponsive with one eyedropper containing unknown liquid substance inside the bottle, a liquid they later said was PCP. Following this, he was found guilty at a disciplinary hearing of possession of a controlled substance and sentenced to 1 day in solitary confinement.
And here's the thing. A disciplinary hearing, they didn't even know what was in the substance. Disciplinary hearing is done in the prison. So it ain't like he going to court and going to trial. They just decided. They said, this looked like PCP or whatever that is, and then locked him up and put more time on him. Go ahead.
Both the charges from March and the November charge have been dropped by the prison disciplinary board. And by December 9th, a district judge issued his second ruling ordering Snead's release.
They trying to put him out, get him out of the damn system. A second release. Go ahead.
While waiting by the gate to be picked up on December 10th.
75 years old. He's waiting at the gate after 47 years to be picked up. You gonna tell me the white man is not the devil? Read.
Snead was rearrested
at the gate. At the gate, they rearrested this brother. After 2 hearings, released him. Go ahead.
And sent to a nearby jail. Although the judge had ordered his release the day before, which followed another on November 18th, the parole board engineered a way to keep Snead incarcerated despite the rulings in his favor, including its own vote. During his brief release, the board issued an arrest warrant for parole violation, arguing that the 2 drug accusations against Snead this year violated his parole.
And once again, this is what we got to figure out. 2 things. First of all, if let's just hypothetically say that it was true, that all the drugs that they claiming he had was true, which once again, they themselves said they couldn't prove it was true. Let's say for just argument's sake, it was true. If it was true, how in the hell did he get them drugs in that prison? Like they selling more than cabbage and corn out of them prisons. They selling more than license plates and military uniforms and parachutes. They selling dope in them prisons as well. You understand? They selling dope as well. The man spent 47 years in there. You gonna tell me it's his fault? He in there getting high if it was even true? And listen, they don't even respect their own court system. And you think that you sitting in church with your pretty dress on that you done put on, or your little suit on that you done put on after a lifelong of wickedness, and singing and dancing is going to change a damn thing, man? It's going to stop the evil oppression that's destroying these people, man? Like, you wake up to the truth. That's why, once again, man, when I found these scriptures out, through the grace and mercy of the Most High giving us this truth, when I got to know what was in this book out, it was everything to me. And it was everything to me because I was able to see exactly what was going on around us. Like, you wake up to this truth. Your job is to build this truth so that we can escape this thing. We can be prepared to get away from this madness, man. That's your job. Your job ain't singing and dancing every Sunday in church. You think God give a damn about that, man? He could give a damn how much you singing and dancing, man. He could care less about that. The hell are you doing to fix the people that he called from Abraham's seed away from every nation on this earth? This dumb, stupid idea that all nations are to be together in a melting pot, you finding out it's a damn lie. It's a damn lie. Salaki, General, go ahead.
No problem.
I thought you was getting into something. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Salaki, what was we dealing with? I pissed me the hell off, man.
I don't know if you want me to read Katham's scripture.
Please.
Touching on what you went into.
Go ahead.
This is Joshua 24:2. And Joshua said to all the people, thus saith the Lord, power of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time.
Good scripture. Big shout out to General Katham Gabar. Your fathers dwelt on the other side. Go ahead.
Even in old time, even Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods.
You supposed to be, let me tell you something, Mark. You discover the Bible, you supposed to be the God scrutinized. Like anybody coming with anything about God and religion, you're supposed to be scrutinizing every last bit of it. And the Bible is such a perfect measuring line to cut through the lies. We can get through the lies. If I could, embellish me for a second. That's another thing, man. It's very common in the minds of blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians that you can't sort through all the madness. Oh, it's many religions. Oh, they all got as many gods, but really we all worshiping the same God. And this and that God. You can sort through all of that by studying these scriptures, man. And especially once you start finding out your identity, finding out who you are, you can sort through all of this. Go ahead, General. Salaki, I want you to finish it. Salaki.
Third verse. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood.
Come on, man. Like, these are the parts of the scriptures you ain't never going to hear in church. And let me tell you something else, too, if I could, General. Like, what these brothers in the Israelite school of UPK have been laying down since 1969, you ain't never heard.
That's
You
right.
ain't never heard in Islam, you ain't never heard in Christianity, in no church. There's thousands and thousands of churches across this country. You ain't never read this scripture or like scriptures that really show you what's going on in this earth. He said Abraham's forefathers worshiped them other gods. And the Lord said, man, get away from them. That's what you better be doing now. That's what the pandemic, like how, let me tell you something if I could. Last point. I don't even understand how you could not know. If you ever went to church and you don't understand the pandemic, you about the dumbest person on earth. If you went to church and you don't understand the pandemic, you should put a dunce hat on you. You should walk around with a patch on your back saying idiot. Here's why. The biggest story of captivity in the Bible is about Exodus, filled with stories of a pandemic, filled with them, called a prophecy from the Most High, called a judgment from the Most High. You know why you don't understand it? You know why you don't know it? Because your pastor, who's a whore for your slave master, has taught you that you could never enter, it could never enter into your mind that God would kill your slave master. It could never enter into your mind that God would punish your slave master, that he would plague your slave master. That can't never enter into your mind. So even if you read the story of Exodus, you got to be taught that within that story, somehow, they got to make Pharaoh the evil one and not the Egyptians. Or they got to find some way that you don't look at these Egyptians a certain way because you might relate them to the white man in America. Okay. And brother, then your eyes will be open, and that is not allowed. Go ahead, Oxalaki.
Cut it one cut. And I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood and led him through all the land of Canaan and multiplied his seed.
Dang. Go ahead.
And gave him Isaac.
And gave him Isaac, our forefathers. This is who we are. This is where we come from, man. This is our real history. This is what's been hidden from us for thousands and thousands of years. This is what that so-called Jew is hiding from you every day. Every piece of music, every piece of film, every story, every book, every bit of knowledge that's sent to you, all comes from him unless the prophets break through it. And he couldn't hide the Bible, so he just lied on it. Unfortunately for him, the Lord gave it to us to reveal it to you. That's why the Lord said he will do nothing but he revealeth his secrets onto the prophets, man.
That's right.
It also says, how can they be taught unless they have a teacher? That teacher must come from the Most High. The Lord taught Abraham. Abraham taught Isaac. Isaac taught Jacob. Jacob taught his 12 sons, man, which became the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. You got to wake up and come out of this madness, man. You got to wake up and come out of this madness. Let me tell you something, man. From a kid, I had thousands of questions about life. Where the stars come from? What's on the stars? Is there life out there? Is aliens real? All these questions that people have. Every day, they make millions of dollars making movies about the questions that you have in your mind. What is God like? What does God believe in? What about these religions? Does God believe? All these questions was always in my mind from young. It was like I was living in a world where I didn't really know what the hell was going on. And that's how you live in this empire. You don't really know what the hell is going on. But the Most High Power, Yahweh, kept them records there. The only book, that Bible, most controversial book on earth, general, right or wrong.
Kalawanka, for sure.
Printed in more languages than any other language, than any other book on earth. Sold more copies, sells more copies around the world than any other book on earth. That book called the Bible, because it's the only book inspired by God.
God. And hell, most major religions use the Bible to big up their religions, even when they, call themselves non-Christians.
Yes.
They still use the Bible to big up their organization, their religion.
Yes. And if I could, the nations that were in that Middle East and in Africa that was during that time, get me right on this. They were small nations too. The Hittites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites. Why you don't know nothing about them? Why you don't know nothing about their gods and about their religion and about what they believe in? You don't know nothing about it because they didn't have one thing that little nation of Israel had. Remember, God said you were the smallest of nations. Why the hell is your religion, so-called religion, why is your belief the biggest known belief on earth when you was the smallest nation on earth? You weren't even big as the Hittites or the Girgashites or the Hivites or some of these other little nations, not to mention the bigger ones, the Sumerians, the Babylonians, all that Chaldean science. They went in Iraq, in Babylon, and dug up an entire library of science of the Babylonians. To this day, they won't release the tablets that they dug up in the Babylonian library. They got thousands and thousands of tablets, which was their books at the time. They ain't released none of them books. All them religions, man. All these religions, the Greeks, the Romans, why is your religion, that little tiny nation of Israel, why is your religion the biggest religion on earth? Why are the Arabs tied to your religion? The white man calling him a Jew tied to your religion? The modern day church tied to your Bible? Why is that, man? Open your damn eyes, man. Stop trying to lie to yourself and say, well, the Bible's tampered with. Muslims said that for years.
God.
The Bible was written by what they said, by the white man was let me get it right. The white man was created by I.S.U.P.K.
The two-headed
the two-headed scientist. I ain't never met a two-headed nigga yet, let alone a two-headed scientist.
God,
you understand? They used to say that the Bible is tampered with. The Bible been copied many times. It's been changed. It's been changed many times. This, that, and the other. Meanwhile, everything in that book has come to pass.
God.
And the problem is, and the Lord is ironic with it too, General, if I could. The Lord ain't sending you to no pastor to get his word. He's reviled by the pastor. T.D. Jakes is an abomination to God.
GEN.YAHANNA.
Creflo Dollar and all of them. That clown that we just saw where the fight broke out. He is an abomination to the Most High. You think he's going to send you there? You talk about you going to repent. You going to turn back to God. You going to now worship God. He going to send you to a ghetto nigga to get the knowledge. He's sending you to that cat sitting up there who been raping and robbing black people for years. He going to send you to a Mitre wearing black man in the hood in some dusty ass building somewhere, and you're going to wake up to there. And guess what? And while you watching them cats, they're going to rise before your eyes and become more mighty than your preacher ever could imagine he could become.
GEN.YAHANNA.
They're going to become more mighty and glorious and glorify the Most High because they're going to have one thing your preacher don't have. They're going to really understand what is inside the Bible, man.
Damn right.
Damn right. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And that's what the hell they going to understand. So, like, if somebody was going to say something, was it you died?
Common concept.
Please.
If I may say, but you bringing out is just so heavy.
Hold on.
You know what I mean? It proves, you know what I mean, that the Nation of Islam and the 5%ers don't have the truth. Because, you know, confession good for the soul. When I was in the world as a wicked Negro, I used to be a 5%er. I used to go around telling people, yeah, you know, Yaku created the white man in the hour of Patmos. He was John the Revelator. You know what I mean? Listening to Farrakhan and that garbage. But when I would start to read, you know what I mean, what Elijah Muhammad and them wrote, I would always say, well, y'all say the Bible is tampered with, but why are you always quoting in the lessons? They quote Jeremiah, Isaiah, and Ezekiel. I said, but I thought this was corrupt. That's what got me thrown out of it.
John, I could dig it. What, Jim, please.
And they quote Yahushua. Jesus said, and something. He said, when two are gathered in my name, he's among them, you know, and trying to pick up Islam. I'd be like, man, if they don't understand how confusing and retarded they are. But I've never heard them say and inspire anybody with one breakdown of a Quran scripture. I've never heard them say, you know, and the prophet so-and-so in second surah said that. They never do that.
If I could, I'm sorry, y'all be opening the can of worms. I'm trying not to, you know what I'm saying? But y'all open the can of worms. Listen, this is, once again, if you open your eyes, you could see clearly. Listen, I know for a fact we are chosen people of the Lord for this reason. And this is sad to say, what I'm about to say, is that I have never, not only have they never inspired nobody, like you say, General, I've never heard a charismatic Islamic speaker except a black man.
Right. Kind of one kind.
Like outside of Farrakhan, name me one Arab Islamic teacher that is like, woo, he's heavy. Like that. You know what I'm saying? Name me one. I'll take a book from one. You ain't even got to give me an actual one. I'll just take a book from one. You're not inspired by them. You're not inspired by them because they're not the chosen people of the Lord.
That's right.
You understand? You're not inspired. Like Farrakhan is small compared to some of these mosques around this country. You got huge mosques with tens of thousands of people in them. They're building one in North Philly right now that's like nigh onto a city. They just built one down there at the site of 9/11. They built a huge mosque down there. They got mosques all over this country filled with them. I ain't seen a speaker better than Farrakhan yet. And that's because Farrakhan come from the 12 tribes of Israel speaking for the Arab world.
God.
You know what I mean? He took on the Arabs' religion, and now he more charismatic. Then that's how you know we the children of Israel.
Right.
Like you take on the other nations, God, and you better at it than they are.
You know what I'm saying?
And they God.
It's kind of like
on,
Stevie Wonder or Whitney singing the Star Spangled Banner. You know what I'm saying? Or Donny Hathaway singing the Star Spangled Banner. You love America once they get done.
Exactly.
Because they Israelites.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you right. You know what I mean? Or if we want to take it back, Joseph in Egypt.
God.
Egypt wasn't crap once Abraham came, and then it still descended until Joseph came. Joseph brought Egypt out of the dirt.
Kind of the one come.
Go back and read them records, man. And even the Egyptian scholars tell you that. Clark and them, they all was writing about it. How he did exist. How he was in Avaris, known as Cairo today. You understand that how they did build them cities. They got them cities all underneath the dirt down there. They know where they are. Those brothers were the ones that inspired and raised up that image, just like America, man. Sports, music, intellectual things. We built and brought all that out because we're people. We did it in every empire we ever fell into, man. We enter into an empire. We so good because the Lord is with us that we always rise above the heathens. You understand? We always rise above the heathens. That's why the Edomites are the so-called white man is so stressed today running in the capital because you rising, man. Take back America. Take back America. You always smell like success. You smell like you're going to overthrow the country. Meanwhile, you in poverty and hell, but you a threat even in poverty. Even in poverty and broken and on drugs, you are a total threat to this man's empire to where he feel like he got to take it back. And he already has it. Who he taking it back from? Himself? He already has it. And that's why you should serve the Most High. And that's why it's, okay, last point, I'm going to get back to the stories. That's why it's so daggone sad that the great bloodline of the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel is used to promote these other gods and these other nations and used to promote us joining these other nations and loving these other nations. When all of that, when we receive nothing from them, not a thing. But meanwhile, our talents and abilities and skills all get used to push you into following them. The other nations are excited about this empire for the same reason, because you're here. They mimic you around the world. They dress like you. They talk like you. They want to be like you all over the world. And that is what is used to help build up every empire we've ever been in, man. Let's get some more.
Omicron is spreading at lightning speed.
Wait, before you go to the Omicron, can you give me that story of the ball player that's talking about joining Deion Sanders now? Go to that story for me, if you don't mind, because that's right along what we're saying. I'm going to come back to the Omicron or Omicron, whatever it is. Big shout out to General Muhammad. Said the wolf is in the building. I'm back in the building, General Muhammad. Big shout out to General Muhammad. He couldn't be here tonight. He getting ready to get set up over there so he can head out to Arizona and kick it up live over there in Arizona with all the brothers and sisters out there, man. Arizona, get ready. Don't disappoint.
That's right.
Man, General Muhammad going to be on deck out there this weekend. I heard they got a full weekend agenda out there. I wish I could be out there with y'all, but I got other stuff I got to do on this side. We getting it all together, though. Okay. Speaking of which, why he got it already, or you want me? Okay, all right. I'll come back to the Passover after that. Go ahead.
Richard Young, the #1 ranked running back recruit in 2023 class, to visit FAMU, a sign of the times.
Okay, meaning the black players are saying to themselves, you know, can I get paid over here as well? Can I keep it black? Am I lying? You got to get in on this. You know, I ain't a sportsman.
Yeah, if I can, sir. What's heavy about it, you know, with Richard Young coming after the last brother did, more brothers are starting to realize, man, like we have to go back to these HBCUs. Now to Esau, you know what I mean, it's terrifying because, you know, players of these brothers' caliber should be playing for Alabama or LSU, you know, or Oklahoma or Oregon or somewhere. But the fact that they're going to go play, you know what I mean, down in Florida with Deion Sanders, you know what I mean, to bring back up the HBCUs, that's a problem for the oppressors, sir, and they are terrified at it. But it's not so taboo because some of the greatest football players to ever live, like Jerry Rice and Walter Payton, they went to HBCU, sir. But that was back during the late 60s and early 70s.
Yeah, if I could, they probably went to those HBCUs because they probably couldn't go to those other schools. They probably had to suffer so much racism that they said, I'll just go to the black school, to the HBCUs. And when they went to them schools, prospered, and of course, like any good greedy bastard, Esau saw that, oh, these brothers going to these HBCUs is making their sports teams, you know, tremendous. So what did he do? He started taking them out of them HBCUs and putting them in their schools and making their schools great. Okay. And now that they're going back, it's frightening them because they know the possibility. Okay. They know it's a possibility now that those HBCUs can get those schools that can attract that money. Okay. They can have them stadiums, and those white schools will suffer. Once again, you caring for yours is everything, because they certainly are caring for theirs. Okay. It ain't like they got a level playing field. You could argue, well, General Yohanna, man, you ain't right, because it's a level playing field. And so why is it that we got to, you know, only go to the black school? But it ain't no level playing field. You wouldn't have an argument then. But I'm just saying, it ain't a level playing field. And once again, brother, top black sports figures start going back to HBCUs. Guess what? A lot of money is going to go to those HBCUs. Them brothers that's doing all them amazing things, and I'm going to come right back to you, Dad. Them brothers doing all those amazing things, people will have to go to the HBCU stadium to see them do those things. And they'll become greater and powerful. And here's the other part. Going to those HBCUs will give them what nobody in this empire wants, which is a black man to have a sense of possibility of great success among his own. Like, it's in the minds of black people in sports and entertainment. If you want to be successful, you got to cross over. You got to appeal to white people to be successful. You understand? Like, that's the mindset. You got to cross over. You go to these rap concerts, man, with these top rappers. The whole audience is white. You know what I'm saying? You go to, 50,000 people in a stadium, and they all white. What's the stadium where the people got killed at recently, got trampled? Guy's little son got killed.
Talking about at Astro World?
I believe it was. It was a recent story we did. It was a whole bunch of lawsuits. What was the brother's name?
Connor McCon, Travis Scott, sir.
Now, that's a brother, correct?
Connor McCon, Travis Scott is a brother, sir.
And now he did that big-ass concert. Did you see the footage of that concert? The concert was filled with heathens, with Arabs, East Indians, Orientals, and plenty of white people. And a little bit of us, too, but it was an outdoor concert. So it wasn't quite as expensive as the usual arena concert. So you had a little bit of us. Had it been a little more expensive, you probably would not have even seen us pretty much in there. And this is a black entertainer. But for him to make the big money, he have to cross over. What happens if those black entertainers can become successful without the slave master? Now they got a problem. They make so much money off of you while you starve. They eat you like cattle while your people starve. You understand? And then the next thing will be is this. They'll make those HBCUs strong. And then the HBCUs will be under pressure from the black community to do more outreach, to support more, to speak out more. And then guess what? And then the NFL would not be able to kick brothers out the stadium because they take a knee for all the brutality that happens to black people. Like if you don't empower yourself, listening to dumb, stupid Christian preachers, they about the dumbest paid hoes you ever met. You listening to them fools, and them fools is leading you down the golden path. Like the Lord call us sheep to the slaughter. It's so true. Because you listening to a pastor that's leading you like a sheep to the damn slaughter instead of empowering us. Our empowerment is based on us joining the slave master. That's our empowerment. You know what I mean? You put Barack Obama in the White House and nothing changed. You went and dragged that African and put him up, and guess what? Now the Africans is over the top of you.
God.
They moving in your neighborhoods, pushing you out, becoming your landlord. When he won the election, I remember it back like it was yesterday. He won the election. The Africans was all over the social media saying, you see, it took a real African. It took a real African to do it. They could not do it. Kafa couldn't do it. It took a real African. It was shaming the hell out of you while you crying on the damn at the damn Capitol because this Hamite done got in the White House. They looking like, oh, see, Africa, we the one, not them. Them the slaves. You know what I mean? Like looking at, and they ain't never mixed with you. They ain't mixing with you. They just like any other heathen. And listen, they more dangerous in some respects because they got the same skin color as you. So it's easier for them to weed their way in. You think the Arabs and East Indians done got over. Wait till these Africans reveal themselves and what they doing with you, man. You better wake up, man. You don't understand the Most High. That's why you don't understand our relationship with our Latino brothers. You wonder why we ain't down with Africa, but we down with our Latino brothers because you don't read the Bible. You don't know the bloodline that's tied to you. So you tie yourself like any dumb, ignorant man. You tie yourself to another people that got the same skin color as you. They got the same skin color. Well, we must be the same. They black, I'm black. It's all good. You have no idea what you should be doing. You have no idea what you should be doing and who you should be loyal to. When them Latino brothers is your bloodline, man.
God.
Separated, man, by 700 years of captivity, man. And another 1,500 years once they were brought over here to the Americas, man. That's the only reason you seem so separated, not to mention the language barrier from all the murderers that came from all over the world to enslave them. Christopher Columbus knew what the hell he was looking for. Right. He took them 3 ships out, man, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. He took them damn 3 ships out because he knew what the hell he was looking for. He was commissioned by the Roman Catholic Church to go find the 12 tribes so they could enslave them again. What do you think America was built on? America is not a Christian nation. The founding fathers of America were Masons. They were rebuilding Egypt again. That's what they were trying to do. They were Freemasons that studied ancient Egypt. And they were set out to rebuild it again. And that's what they did. And they knew they had to get the slaves to do it. How did they know? The Roman Catholic Church. They knew. Wake up, man.
That's right.
Wake up. Let's keep going. Salah.
There was a time when you couldn't fathom a top high school prospect visiting, let alone signing with an HBCU program over a Power 5 program.
You see that? There was a time when you couldn't even fathom it. I'll tell you when that time was. Started in the 80s. In the 80s, they put all your brothers on crack, pushed it in the ghettos,
And if you told on them, the people you were telling on, the very cops was part of the sales. You had all kind of government agents out that became police officers. They working for the higher government. They become police officers, and they working in the community and was doing all kind of dirty stuff to black people. So while they were destroying you as a people, because of course in the 70s, in the 60s, and the 70s, you was all about revolution. You was all about black, pro-black, and afros, and getting your culture on and making your own music. You was all about everything we talking about in this show tonight. And so by the 80s, they had to get rid of that. At the 80s, they brought in the drugs. What? Freeway Ricky Ross. Everybody know the story. Pushed that crack into the ghettos, destroyed a whole generation of black people, man. And that's why some of you make me sick. You love to hate me for speaking on these things. General Yohanna, you a racist. Them things you saying is wrong and they evil. This white man wiped out an entire generation in the 80s of black people and Latino people. Not to mention slavery and everything before. Let's just talk about what he wiped out in the 80s. He wiped out tens of thousands of black people by pushing these drugs in the hood and lying to them under Ronald Reagan, saying, nobody told you to take it. You wiped out a generation of our people, and you Uncle Tom Negroes talking about, I can't say nothing about it. The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, bombed the city of Pearl Harbor, one city, and you dropped 2 nuclear bombs on them. You dropped 2 nuclear bombs on the Japanese for bombing one of your cities. You wipe out a generation of my people, and I can't even talk about it. I can't even talk about it. And you wiped out a whole generation of God's chosen people. Damn the white man, and damn you so-called Uncle Tom Negroes, man.
That's right. That's right.
For being so spineless.
Damn right.
About the suffering of your own people, man. They came in there, and so while they crushed us, right, just to get back to the story, while they crushed us in the 80s with the drugs, with the heroin and the last of the heroin and all that, at the same time, they were recruiting all of our sports figures and all of our entertainers. They were recruiting them. The 80s was a boom of entertainers and sports figures. And for 20 years, all the black sports figures went into the so-called white schools. HBCUs declined, lost fame, lost economics, lost support, lost people membership. People, then it became, if you wanted to go to a so-called good school, you didn't go to HBCUs then. Okay. Then you had to get in UCLA, or you had to get in Harvard, or Yale, or Penn, or one of these so-called Ivy League schools. Not in an HBCU. And so the HBCUs suffer. And now,
I know in 92, I went to an HBCU. And I remember rumors going around like it's the 13th grade. Wasn't really college.
Wasn't really college. Damn.
So, but it was a beautiful thing. You know what I mean?
And such an inspiring time for a young person. You come out of high school going into college. It's such an important time in your life, especially if you have to leave home and go live on campus. And to have to leave home, being an intelligent black person, for you to have to leave home and go to an all-white school is damn near paramount to murdering your soul. Because by the time you come out of that school in 4 years, you done lost your spirit as a black person. Get me right if I'm wrong.
Listen, I think that's why I stopped college, because from there I went to Temple. Because they said they got the program that I'm looking for, and the engineering and the electrical, they had it better there. Where I went, the HBCU was nice to start, but they said that was better. End up going there, and again, it ain't the same.
It's
you know
totally
what I'm saying? It's you like a fish out of water.
That's proof positive. You in there among these Edomites like a third wheel or like a second class citizen underneath them. And now you mousing around trying to get your education. Damn, they're trying to prove to them that you're just as good as them. While you in their school. Once again, when our school should have been the one that was brought up. A big shout out to General Kubalamav. He said school day,
that was an excellent, big shout out to Spike Lee. That was an excellent, go ahead, you died. That was an excellent movie to illustrate a lot of that point.
If I may, sir, what y'all bringing out is so heavy, sir. We did a story last year. I don't know if you remember about that. There's more of us, you know what I mean, that are going back to HBCUs because of the discrimination that we're facing at these major universities. So more of our people are starting to go back to HBCUs. And now that you got more, you know what I mean, football and basketball players going to HBCUs and playing, now the oppressor is truly afraid and loss of money, and which is a lot bigger than that, sir. You got to when we start to play in our own, you know what I mean, our own schools and our own divisions in HBCU, what's stopping us from putting our money together and starting our own pro league? Then brothers won't even want to play in the NFL no more or play in the NBA no more. So it's a lot.
Like it's to this white man, it's madness if you go there. You know what I mean? Like some of these college coaches out make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year to coach these college teams. And that's just him. Forget about all the money they make, all the television rights, the jerseys, the whole thing. What's that thing? That thing they do, the Super 10 or the something where they do the tournament towards the end. I forget what it's called.
March Madness.
March Madness. Oh my God! You know how much money they make on March Madness? They making Hollywood money on March Madness, off of God's chosen people. Because of course that's who else everybody going to see. You know what I mean? You the one floating in the air half from half court. You in there floating in the air from half court. You understand? Doing all the amazing things, and of course they getting all the riches from it. Your identity is everything, man. Who you are is everything. Your people is everything. Why read the Bible if you're not going to commit your life to fixing your people? Why even do it? Why even pick up the Bible? Big shout out to General Haza Young. He'll be back as well next week, Lord allow. Holding it down. So, you can say something, General, before we go.
Our oppressor, he realizes that these things is going on because his slaves, then they're opening their eyes to who he really is. You understand?
Exactly.
And they shook because the only reason why a great athlete will be doing this is because he done decided, I don't care about the money, the prestige. I'm uniting with my people.
Boom.
You understand? And that shakes them.
That's the Colin Kaepernick syndrome, so to speak. You know what I mean? That's the taking a knee for like $1 million ball players took a knee for the average brother that died in the streets. That is the most frightening thing to the white man. Like the most frightening thing to the white man is that a prominent, successful black man, a multi-millionaire, will turn around and say, this poor brother that's suffering, you did him wrong. That's Christ-like, so to speak. You know what I mean? Not that them brothers are being Christ-like, but boy, they trying to find that road. Go ahead, you die, jump in. They trying to find the road.
If I may, sir, which still sticks out to me. You know, everybody is talking about Jay-Z and this. I'll never forget when Colin Kaepernick took that stand. Jay-Z started with Roger Goodell in the NFL.
And sat there and spoke again, tried to dismiss it. Tried to dismiss the whole damn thing. You right about that. He tried to dismiss it. And here's a brother that started in the hood suffering and struggling. And once again, we always say, don't forget where you came from. That's a known fact, a known statement among the black community. That statement he did out was horrible, man. But once again, and here's the sad part. Because you've been trained by disgusting whores called preachers in your church, you always side with the man of money. Give me the scripture in James where the Lord said, do not the rich oppress you. The problem with us is we always side with money. He was able to side with Roger Goodell because you saw him sitting up there with Roger Goodell and you loved Jay-Z more. Instead of you being reviled by Jay-Z, you love Jay-Z more because he sat down and sided with that white man. You respected him more when he should have been ostracized for that. He should have had to apologize for that. There's a ton of these Hollywood cats that should be apologizing for statements. I told you about Steve Harvey. You understand? He should have to apologize to the black community for making those statements he made about slavery. Like they should have to apologize. And why would you say I'm wrong for that if those same people made a derogatory statement about any other nation in America, they would have to apologize. Hell, if you say something about gays, them rappers said something about them gays, and they had to apologize for it. Saying something against them transgenders. They on David Chappelle's ass right now. David Chappelle is probably the baddest black comedian in modern times. He certainly is the baddest storyteller of modern times when it comes to comedians. I'm talking about in the comedic world. He's certainly the number one, and nobody, Kevin Hart, none of them tell a story like David Chappelle. David Chappelle tell you a story about the time he's definitely excellent at what he does. He's in his, and they on his ass to apologize and to deal with and to submit under the transgender. And meanwhile, he done spoke for the transgenders before they even protested. So why the hell black leaders who trash us as a people, you understand, don't have to apologize? I remember growing up as a kid and seeing black entertainers and leaders throw us under the bus. I remember Michael Jackson doing it, brother, like it was yesterday. When Michael Jackson said that about them East Indians, I was a young kid then. And I sat here as I'm looking at Michael Jackson in my little young, dumb mind. I'm looking like, yo, that's Michael Jackson, man. He up there, man. He doing it. And when he turned around and said his people was the East Indians on national television. And listen, and here's what was so evil about it. MTV, them low-life bastards, would not put black entertainers on MTV. They forced MTV to put Michael Jackson on. They threatened MTV. They said, if you don't put Jackson on, we're going to take all our artists off of MTV. MTV was forced to put a black, first of all, they wasn't even going to do it. They were forced to put a black person on. And so, of course, they took Michael Jackson because he was the biggest star back then. And Michael Jackson, brother, got on MTV and called the East Indians his people. As a young black man, like if they don't want us, he rather the East Indians. As a young ignorant boy in the hood, what do that say to you? That say to you, well, you're less than nothing. You're something that nobody of success would want. And brother, you should be charged for that. Okay. You do that to young black men coming up in these ghettos, and you are entertaining successful, and this devil put that camera in front of your face and you don't say nothing, you should be charged for it. God. The hell you gonna do us like that? God. You know how many young brothers out there struggling between should they become a criminal or should they try harder to be successful? Should they stay on the side of right or should they just go out and get high and go kill and murder? And then you're stupid behind wondering why they doing it. Because of your big mouth. Because of your big mouth on the television set. We are everything to us. That's and right. Should be everything to us. I watched the last point, General. Was you going to say something? Go ahead, please.
You remind me of, sir, I just saw a comedy show, right? Corey Holcomb was the headliner. You know what I'm saying? He usually funny. You know what I mean? Usually funny cat. Mm-hmm. But he did a horrible skit about abortion, man. And how wonderful it was and how it's part of the game of being a player. And you know, and they laughed at it. And, you know, he's stroking his bra. He said, yeah, you got to stroke him, man. Like, come on, baby, let's get this done. Yeah, we got to empty you out. You know what I'm saying? You see your boy in the clinic with you and y'all give each other that nod. Like, you know, I'm here too, about to get rid of this, man. I don't give a F, man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's just like he gaming the woman, like, you know, you game, you know, spit game and try to convince her to go out with you. Right. He's spitting game and convincing her to go in and get these abortions. And how many, man? I done took so many bras to the abortion clinic, man. And it was like talking about it like it was nothing.
Like murdering these babies.
Con. And it was just an awful thing to hear. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm seeing it no more. You know what I'm saying? But all the sisters that were in there and laughing and nobody said, shouted upset or you know what I'm saying? It was that same type of influence.
Like our humanity is gone. This bastard done stole our humanity. You understand? When meanwhile, the Edomites, man, they having their baby. They all over the TV set showing their babies. All over YouTube. You know what I mean? Like they take pride in showing their families and their children and all that they have as a family. Meanwhile, he acting like killing our babies is nothing. You know what I mean? And of course, that gets laughs. That's why he doing it. If it didn't get no laughs, he wouldn't be telling that joke.
For sure.
You understand? If when he said that joke, people got up and walked the hell out, then guess what? He wouldn't be doing that joke no more because he wouldn't be eating. It wouldn't be no food in his belly. So he wouldn't be doing that joke, which is why you got to, I don't give a damn how far in the hood you are or what you suffering. It's your responsibility to take a righteous stand for you and your people, man. It's your responsibility. By doing that, you let those that are successful and in power know what you will and will not accept. And they will act accordingly, believe me. They whores for $1. You get up there in Hollywood, they whores for $1. Why you think they put up with so much from the white man? Because they'll do anything for $1. And if they find out that they can't make $1 by talking about killing your babies, guess what? They ain't gonna talk about it. They'll switch their comment. They'll find a joke about not having an abortion there. They'll find some laughs for that. The problem is you got to get right. You sitting up in these stinking churches, praise Jesus, and you go to the damn Corey Holcomb concert and you laughing while he talking about murdering the babies in you. You laughing. How, Corey, you so funny, you big dummy. Talking about murdering your babies. You big idiot. Okay, let's keep going, huh?
You want the scripture, sir, in James, or you want to continue the stories?
Let's do James.
Kawaka. This is the book of James, chapter 2, and verse 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren. Have not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith?
Right. The Most High chose the poor in this world, rich in faith. That is a key. Once again, you got to pick up on that. If you suffering and you struggling in this world in any way, you may not be struggling financially, but you may be struggling with other things. You might be struggling with drug addiction or just mental illness or just suffering, understanding life or God knows what. Family relationships, your history. So many of our sisters have been molested, and man, and it done broke their heart and did so much damage to their soul. They fighting day and night to come back to who the hell they are. And now brothers as well. You understand? Like you're poor in spirit. I'm rephrasing it. Read it again out, please. Salaki.
Kawaka. Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith?
Rich in faith. If you in that kind of suffering, you supposed to be rich in faith. You're supposed to wake up and examine this truth. Join the truth. Lace up your boots, like General Haas always said. Supposed to walk with the Most High. Seek the glory of the Lord, like General Muhammad always said. You're supposed to do these things, man. And raise this up. You understand? And then you'll tell the entertainers and sports figures and black leaders what the hell they supposed to be doing. I'll never forget. I always talk about this. I'll never, ever forget when the so-called Jew bombed Yasser Arafat. Remember when they bombed? I don't know if y'all remember this. Let's go back a few years. They bombed Yasser Arafat and the Palestinians, and they separated him to where he was in like a separate area because they had bombed everywhere. He couldn't leave and all that. They had him damn near trapped off, right? And then they made him a deal because they of course had destroyed him, was about to kill him,
And they made him a deal. They came to him with a real deal. And he said some words, and it always stuck with me when this heathen said this. He turned around and he said, I saw their proposal. He said, but I cannot take that proposal back to my people. They would kill me first. He said that. I said, what? Being young and black, I couldn't understand what he was talking about. It was like, what is he talking about? Why would he's the leader? Why is he worried about them? Then it dawned on me later on, coming into the truth, that he was the leader, but he in essence was the servant of the people. Just like Christ said you're supposed to be. Right. Supposed to serve these people, man. You understand? He being a heathen and them being another nation, he at least knew enough not to bring some deal from these enemies back to his own people and try to convince them to accept a damn deal from the people that was killing them. Okay. He was smart enough to know that. But your black leaders, they bring you to die before your slave master. You know what I mean? And you love them for it. Like you said, that's why Jay-Z went and sat down with Roger Goodell, and he was beloved by them churches. And the churches, let me tell you something. The preachers praised him because in their mind, Jay-Z brought peace to the NFL. He brought love and peace to the NFL. When what he did was he dismissed the bloodshed that Esau was doing to us. That brothers who put their football careers on the line, millions of dollars on the line for poor black men, he went in there and dismissed it. He's disgusting, man.
Call it one cut.
He's disgusting.
And swear he conscious.
Exactly.
Swear he's a conscious black man making little rhymes and little lyrics about, coming up and us protecting each other and getting what we need from the industry, and you know what I'm saying? But he's full of it.
Exactly. Let's go on, Rob. Hit them stories.
Kawakan.
Did we finish that script, Salaki?
There's a little bit more, sir, in verse Kawakan.
Finish that script and then we'll go.
Kawakan. And heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him.
Oh, that's an important part. Heirs to the kingdom. Meaning you in hell right now. You in poverty. You on the bottom. But you heir to the kingdom. You belong to these 12 tribes. You an heir to the kingdom. You royalty, man. Like a card be saying on this song. We royalty up in here. Yeah. You royalty, man. Right. You heir to the kingdom. Even though you in this hell. Even though you in this poverty. And you can't see it because they hiding the Bible from you. If you was able to really learn this Bible without the brainwashing that they've been doing for so many years, it would come clear to you. It would be clear. It would be like, oh, snap. We the chosen people. We broke God's law. He punished us. We under this nation like we've been under nations before. Now we got to just return back to the Lord, and we're going to come out of this captivity. You would know you were heir to the kingdom, and you would work towards that kingdom. Instead, you have no knowledge of the heir to being heir to the kingdom, so you work to build this kingdom. And this slave master wants you to think that way. He don't want you to go to the HBCUs. He wants you to build his empire. That's why he shows so many stories of success and perseverance, even against his own white supremacy. He loves a black man that suffers his white supremacy and becomes successful. What's the baseball player they love so much? Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson came from the Negro League.
Right.
Yeah.
They love them cats because it's like they came from the Negro Leagues, joined the white man, got spit on, brutalized, called a nigger, thrown bananas at, but they persevered. They got through it all, and they became successful, and they in the Hall of Fame now. Damn that. That ain't success. That's humbling yourself before the slave master for a paycheck. That's shaming yourself before the slave master for some success. That's not real success. If Jackie Robinson knew what we knew about these scriptures and knew that he was heir to the throne of the Most High, then he would have said, damn, that take every dime from me if you want to. I'm going to play right here where I'm at. And guess what? Then today, the Negro Leagues would be better than the White League.
The White League would have them old goofy little Edomites playing, and the Negro League would have the stadiums filled with people because they'd be the ones they'd be coming to see. But because you humbled yourself, you gave your spirit to them instead of to the Most High, you end up in this position that we in right here. Okay. Read it one more time. You was gonna say something.
And Jackie Robinson wasn't happy. He didn't live a happy life. He went through all that and was miserable because that's what the oppressor do to you, make you miserable. And then it'll be a few of them that big you up and say, hey, you're doing great. Don't attack back. Don't say anything back. You just come on and you're going to make it great for your people. It's like our oppressor play good cop, bad cop with us.
Yes.
And meanwhile, both sides is destroying us. You are old and stressed and high blood pressure because you got to endure even when you doing what you thought would be a great thing for them. And they would appreciate it. They still making fun of you and calling you monkey.
Hate you more.
God.
Hate you more because you tried to join them and play in their league.
God.
They more mad at you when you do that. When he could have just stayed in the Negro League and it would have been amazing.
Right.
It would have been amazing what we would have done. Same with the buses. Mm-hmm. If that Uncle Tom Martin Luther King didn't lead us down that road after we protest about getting on the bus, we'd be every bus company in America right now. Because who the hell is on the buses? Who's the only one that ain't got no cars? You know what I mean? Go ride through Philadelphia or New York or any other major city. I don't see no buses full of white people in suits on talking about they going to work. Do you? Hell no. You know who's on the bus. You. And guess what? Who's getting all the money? SEPTA. Why ain't Negroes? Why black people don't own SEPTA? Or the MTA or whatever bus company it is. Or train company it is. I'll tell you why. Because Martin Luther King told you to go join your slave master. After you protested and they was mad as hell. And do you know that they was beating up black women who would not get on the bus? Like black women was obeying Martin Luther King. And they had nanny jobs and would not go to work. Would wait for a ride. They didn't care how long. Brothers had to come driving them to work. Back then, the few brothers that had cars had to drive all the sisters to work, and they would wait and not take the bus. They'd be standing on that bus stop. That bus would come and them doors would open, and that bus driver would curse them out because they would not get on that damn bus and spend the money. They was loyal to them. And them bus companies started going broke. And as them bus companies started going broke, that's when they capitulated. That's when they went and said, listen, man, we're gonna change that rule. We're going to let you sit on the front of the bus. And brother, we went and got our own buses, brother. My God. We don't have one economy in this empire. We don't have one mainstay in this empire that we could say this is our fallback economy. The East Indians can always get a job in a damn Dunkin' Donuts. The Arabs can always get a job in a chicken joint because they own them industries, man. And more than just that, those just the basic ones. What about you? Where are you at in this earth? Nowhere. And that's why the Lord said what he said. Read that scripture one last time for us out the water.
From the top, sir?
No, just that part.
Khan. And
you went down one more? Go ahead.
No, the verse you asked for is actually the next verse.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and read it out.
Khan. And heirs of the kingdom which he had promised to them that love him.
And heirs to the kingdom, which he promised to them that love him. Let me tell you something. Don't nobody keep a goddamn promise better than the Most High. Nobody. Most High held you to the agreement and to the covenant that he made with Abraham 4,000 years ago. That's why you in chains today. You wondering why you in captivity in America because you broke a deal your father made 4,000 years ago.
That's right.
You broke that deal, and God held you to the deal. So he said he gonna give this kingdom. He gonna make us heir to this kingdom for those of us that love him. Guess what? He gonna keep that deal. And what a kingdom that's gonna be. Gonna be a kingdom that ain't never gonna fall. He kept that deal. Guess what? You need to go back and get that deal back. The Most High is the ultimate bill collector. I'm going to hit you with something. He the ultimate bill collector. 4,000 years old, 4,000 years ago, you still got to pay the bill. You broke, you broke the covenant? Oh, the one I made with Abraham? How long ago was that? 4,000? Michael, how long was that deal? 4,250 years ago, sir. 4,250 years. Yup. You doing my covenants? No. Y'all go down there, man. Get my money. Go on, bring that punishment to them. 4,000 years later, you better obey the Most High. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't call him the terrible power for nothing. Okay, let me get Malquad in here. Malquad said, Jackie Robinson said he regretted joining the major leagues because it destroyed the Negro Leagues in his autobiography. Right before he died, big shout out to Captain Malquad out of the Chicago camp. Damn on the, I didn't know that. That was new to me. He said he regretted it because he saw that it destroyed the Negro League. And once again, go ahead.
I bet all of them, them types that they say was black and then joined the white world and got big and always so proud of him. All of them probably got these stories. I know none of them are happy. None of them are happy in their life. You know, and I didn't know he wrote a book either, but that's the wild. Because they show you that taking that gift, the Lord said, gift destroys the heart.
Exactly.
Taking that gift is not worth it, man. It's not.
Go ahead, Slug.
No, go, you got it, sir.
All right, we ain't got but a little bit of time left. You die. Give me you still holding anything? You want one more verse? Go one more verse. Give me your best because we running out of time. Ooh, both of them is good. What you choose? Go ahead. You got it. You got it. Go ahead.
Verse 6. But ye have despised the poor.
You despise the poor. You despise the voices of your people that suffer. You surely despise the baby sitting in your womb, whom you willing to kill at the drop of a dime. Planned Parenthood made so much money off of you killing your baby. Like, what an amazing daggone kingdom. Like, you got to give America some credit out. America convinced you to kill your own baby and they get paid off it. God damn. You got to give them some credit. You want to talk about psychological brainwashing. God damn, they good. So lock me for the verbiage. They damn good at it. You murder your baby and sit in the Corey Holcomb concert. We murdered them babies. Like, damn, they are good. And you want me to listen to you? You want me to come to your church and listen to your preacher? After what I see you doing, you must be out your damn mind. You must be smoking crack if you think I'm going to listen to any preacher walking around out here in this world, in this environment, teaching you that kind of poison. Okay?
I mean, and Slocky, if I
Please,
can. He said something so handy. He said, don't you hear you pull up to the clinic and they out there with all them signs and protesting? Man, get away from my car with that mess. My baby about to look just like that one on your sign.
Dang.
I said, who in the fuck can say this? You know
exactly. What I'm saying? And I ain't too sure, if they ain't paid him to say it. I wouldn't be shocked if you found out that they paid him to say some of these jokes. They probably came to him. Listen, the white man is a snake. He'll come to him and say, listen, man, you know, a lot of black women are, you know, upset over the fact that, feeling depressed over abortions. You know, you being a black comedian, we could really use your help, man. You could really lift these sisters up, man. Just make a joke. Let's just write a joke about, you know, abortion and let's lighten the mood. And you being a dumb, stupid Negro and see how much cash this suit-wearing devil comes and gives you, you think you're doing a good thing by going and making light of this tragedy.
God.
Like you relieving black women of their pain. So you're going to go now and put this out there and destroy more sisters.
God. And that man in the suit is probably a Democrat, sir, because they fighting the Republicans, you know, who trying to stop abortion.
So they need every stupid Negro that's in the sports and entertainment world. They need him to buy into the fact that abortions is okay.
God.
And they willing to pay for it.
God.
They got the cash to do it. They got the cash to buy you 6 ways to Sunday. Your integrity, like the Lord said, that scripture is so important. Like the Lord said, to them that love him, they heirs to the throne. And why is it important that you know that you are heir to the throne? Here's why. Because an heir to the throne cannot be pushed out of their inheritance. You understand? That's why kingdoms are supposed to be built with royal families. That's why Christ is a royal family. You can't, it's thousands of years later. You still can't stop Christ from getting on the throne. You can never stop the bloodline of David from being ruling the children of Israel. You'll never do it. I don't give a damn if it's 10,000 years. You still gonna put him on the throne. Why? Because he's the heir to that throne. You're the heir to the kingdom of heaven. I don't give a damn how many captivities you go into. You still gonna rule the kingdom of heaven. You still gonna rule this planet. You can't be put out of that inheritance. That's why you heir to the throne. That's why he said you're heir to this kingdom of heaven, meaning you cannot be put out of it. And brother, that's so important to us, because knowing that you heir to the throne is supposed to give you the strength to be able to deny this beast when he comes to entice you with his goods. And let's go back in history a little bit. That's exactly what happened with Esau. When Esau came out of them woods and was starving to death, he told Jacob to give him that porridge. Jacob said, sell me your inheritance. He didn't give a damn about his inheritance. He traded his inheritance for something to eat. So Paul came back and said, don't be like him. Matter of fact, get that for me. Somebody get me in the New Testament where Paul said, did not be like Esau was. Because what happened is he sold his birthright for nothing. He sold it for nothing. And the Lord is saying to you, you're heir to that kingdom. Don't sell your birthright away. Don't sell your kingdom away. Those of you that love the Lord, I don't give a damn what you suffering. Circle the wagons with each other, man. Come together in this brotherhood and sisterhood. Build us up. Raise us up, because you're an heir to that kingdom, and you can't be taken away from you unless you go and sell it. Unless you let some heathen sell your soul away. Then you could lose that kingdom. You could lose that inheritance, like any dumb fool who would give up their inheritance. My name is Commanding General Yohanna of the tribe of Benjamin, of the nation of Israel. I ain't selling my birthright for nobody.
Damn right.
I'm not trading my heir inheritance for nobody. These 12 tribes, they heir to this nation. Right. They got a seat in the kingdom of heaven. Don't sell it for nobody, man. You understand? You don't give that up for nobody. Go ahead. You got that one I asked for? Read it for me. Nice and loud.
This is the book of Hebrews, to the 12th and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person.
Right, a fornicator. Somebody, brother, that's doing lewd acts with somebody they're not supposed to do. You are a fornicator when you take on these religions of these gods, man. And that's supposed to be basically show you how much they brainwashed us. Any nation basically knows that the only God they're supposed to worship is the one that comes from their nation. Like that's, that's 101. Like who worships somebody else's God except us? God. You know what I'm saying? Like who worships, like the Arabs got a God. The East Indians got a God. The Africans got gods for every one of their nations. The white man got a God. Who the hell worships somebody else's God except us? We the only dumb fools that's running around worshiping somebody else's God. Go ahead, Op.
Okay. As Esau,
he went and gave up his for another. Go ahead.
Who, for one morsel of meat, sold his birthright.
Brother, don't let your belly rule you. Don't let your belly make you decide what you should do. You maintain your integrity if it costs you your life. You maintain who you are. You don't sell that. You don't go out there and say you not black. A lot of black people do that. They not black. Tiger Woods tried to do that. He Malaysian. The nigga came up with a new nationality. God. Out of nowhere. He Malaysian. You don't sell that for nobody, man. Right. Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 17. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
Right. Afterwards, he would have inherited the blessing. He would have got the kingdom of heaven. Right now, the kingdom of heaven would be ruled by white people forever. This would be the kingdom of heaven. You would be in captivity forever, ever. But he, for a morsel of bread, he sold that birthright. He gave it up. Your nationality is everything, because there's a nationality walking around out here that's heir to the kingdom of heaven. And whoever that nationality is, that's heir to the kingdom of heaven, is going to rule the world, brother, and that is you. Everybody else is claiming it. The white Jews claiming it, the Christians claiming it, the East Indians claiming it, the Arabs is certainly claiming it. So they get 70 virgins. Everybody is claiming that they're going to be the heir to that kingdom. The only one ain't claiming it is the one who it belonged to. You the only one ain't claiming it. You claiming somebody else's heir to the kingdom. You sit up there praying to the white Jesus, hoping he deliver you and save you. You think he saved you when they created him for them. That's why the Lord said, let there be no other gods before me. Boy, I love the Most High. I love the Most High, brother. Without the Most High, we would be nothing. We would be nothing. You hear me? We would be nothing without the Most High. Without the Most High, we would be filth on the street. He said, I don't want no other gods before me, man. Oh, I don't want to see them or know them. He said, they are dropped in the bucket. You're going to violate him and disrespect him when you heir to that kingdom? Read on.
For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
He found no place of repentance. He was found no way to get back that kingdom. Though he sought it with tears. You will never get it back if you give it up, man. You give up your identity and your knowledge of the truth, and you give it all up and turn your back on your Yahawashi, you will never get it back, though you seek it with tears. The ones that love the Lord are heir to the kingdom of heaven, man. Right. Bring on the Omicron and the Coopercron and the Chrominicron and whatever crom you want to bring. Bring it. Right. Because at the end of this, if one Negro is still walking around and him and his woman is still walking around, we all gonna make it back. If after the Omicron is over, they say, well, there's only one black dude left and one black woman. Guess what? We'll be back.
That's right.
And still going to inherit the kingdom. We still going to be heir to that throne. We still going to rule this world. You know what I'm saying? So look, I guess we got to get up out of here now. We're going to roll that Passover tape, man. The hotels is booking like crazy. Big shout out to Captain Kahuntham Yard, man, dealing with all kinds of things. I know I'm driving him up absolutely crazy, but he in the trenches with me, man, holding it down. Everybody give him the support he deserves, man, and needs so he can pull off this Passover. Big shout out to General Hazayan, coordinating the whole damn thing. Big shout out to General Muhammad, overseeing and watching, making sure everything flow right. General Ma'ala, General Haas, all the generals, Q, Shawa Mark, Kathum Gabar. Big shout out to y'all. Big shout out to all the captains, man. Big shout out to all the captains, man. Holding down these camps, man. Hold strong to your faith, man. April, we're going to get it on, man. This is going to be the biggest Passover, brother. I'm telling you, we selling out. We done bought out 2 hotels. Now they coming to me like, you got to buy out a 3rd one. We done bought out 2 hotels already. Now we got to go buy out a 3rd hotel. This is an unprecedented level. There's so many activities, fishing trips, children's parties, parties on the beach. This is going to be insane. Let me tell you something, man.
Fish
fries and all kinds of stuff. I heard of all kinds of stuff going on. Getting ready to go on in this. So I'm saying that to say this. This is your inheritance, man. Come join us for the Passover. Spend some money with us, man. We waste money all day long out here. Spend some money with us, man. Join us in Cocoa Beach, Florida, man, in April. You got plenty of time to plan it out, save your money, supporting this truth, bringing it out, raising these brothers up, man. And you welcome to be there among us, man, because it's going to be thousands of us from all over the world. You understand? This beast hates this, man. He hates the fact that we walk this walk righteously. You understand? He hates the fact that we prefer our nation over everybody else. He calls us the racist. He calls us the occult. When meanwhile, we doing exactly what them scriptures say, obeying those laws, statutes, and those commandments, man. This is the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, the greatest place on earth for a black man, Latino man, or Native Indian man. I'll see y'all next time live on the U.P.K, y'all. Shalom.
I.S.U.P.K 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you and your
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord of war.
Control your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
Kind of like this. This is like an apartment in a hotel. You know what I mean? This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the